Hi everyone. The new insights are coming from Bevel On today again, and I'm very happy to have Hulya Kurt here with me in the studio. And we will be talking today about something that everyone is fascinated about. There are a lot of people that see difficulties and challenges in tackling the topic, but it's so nice and so broad, and there are so many tools there. And Hulya, I welcome you here to talk about the networking strategies.
Thank you so much, Ina, for this warm welcome and also for the wonderful topic because it's now than ever very important to start networking.
For many different reasons, building the connections for the job, for entrepreneurship, for finding new connections. And as both of us in Bevel On, we tackle the topic or the problem, the challenge of displaced migrations, right? People are moving around in the world, and when you land into the new country, what are you looking for? For the social connections, first of time, and then you look for this sense of belonging or how you can rebuild yourself in new social ambience, and then you think about the career reinsertion in this new country. So in your experience, um, let's put it this way: what are the biggest misconceptions that professionals have about networking? How does it go? How do they build that meaningful, not just transactional, but meaningful connections with others?
And that's so difficult for everyone because many professionals feel that networking is selling yourself. Yeah, it's about asking for something. It's about, I don't want to sell myself. I don't want to ask for something. However, this is not the case for networking at all. When we think about networking, it means self promotion. If we think about self promotion, it creates pressure, right, on people. I need to show from my best side. Oh my God, I need to impress. I need to be polished, or I need to be fake. That's what people think. And that's a misconception. And that is where the experience really moves, if you're going that route, into an unauthentic way. And it becomes, as you alluded to, transactional. However, we need to change the perspective. And to change the perspective, and what I've learned throughout my corporate leadership and coaching people is the following, and doing it myself. Why? Because me and you, we are coming from the same background. Lots of corporate background, yay, 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 wonderful, wonderful. And then, oops, made redundant, at least in my case. And I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do? That's networking was never on my agenda. And I know how it feels. The first networking events were really difficult for me. And therefore, capacity building across sectors, plus as well how to do networking is important. Changing that mindset is the following. It's not about selling. You don't sell yourself. No, you're already enough. You already have all the qualities, the skills that people might look for. It is about something else. It's about the mindset that you serve, that you listen, that you are showing up with your genuine what? Curiosity. Just be curious, that's all. And it's about making that space for humans. People love to talk about themselves as well. And when you release that pressure, of getting something, oh, I need to ask for a job. I want to have a job. If I go to networking, actually, I'm going with the intention to get a job or put my CV on. The first attempt is not about that, it's about something else. It's about creating that connection first. And being more present makes that networking more genuine and more grounded. And it's about connecting for real connections and giving something and serving something. Let me give you again another example, right? Another lady, again the same scenario, worked in a corporate, and then suddenly after decades she was made redundant. So she had to relearn everything, what networking was looking like. And I guided her about what are the best questions to ask, how to get there, how to break the ice of, oh no, I don't want to be going to networking. This is going to be very, oh no, 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 this is fake. That's not me. That's not me. To change that mindset. And that starts with small steps. It's not only about shaking hands at conferences like we were used to. You know, when you're working for corporates, you know how it is. You shake hands, yeah, everyone knows, you have got the title, you've got the big company behind you. Now it's you. You are your personal brand. You and yourself, your authentic self. This is what you need to shine. And that's what we try to unlock as well with the capacity building program that I'm going to conduct with Bevel On. It's about asking something else. It's not about asking what I can get. It's about asking how can I contribute? How maybe I can share some resources? And people ask, is another misconception here. People ask about the following: who am I to give something? I was made redundant. I was displaced. You know what? And I'm worth nothing. I was great, for example, in your case. I was great in Ukraine. I had a job, great, and you had to displace yourself here because you had to first protect yourself. Guess what? You've got so much skills you can't imagine. Language skills, your previous background, your other engineering skills, whatever industry you're on, and your transferable skills that are needed in this job market as well. So you are here to serve, to share some advices, some tips, listening, and that's what's important.
Mm. And when we talk about the global picture of the international migration, right? And we are, both of us, we are in Geneva, which is the
Yes.
hugely international environment. And we have so many different nationalities with different cultural codes. This is another big topic we are going to
Yes.
tackle soon with you. And you are the obvious expert on that. Another thing I hear quite often, and then again, you made a great example of the coaching you did, and you coach work a lot with the leaders across industries and cultures. What I hear quite a lot people are saying, I'm the introvert. Exactly as you say, it's not for me. The networking is for the extroverts. And I think this is the misleading conception at the base of it, because if you provide the authenticity through the connection we are building in networking, the value we bring, or the introverts as such, is about being able to be present and to listen, right? And then, because there are so many people are ready to share, as you mentioned it before, as the insight, right? You listen, you keep being present and with your authenticity and curiosity towards that. And this is one thing, right? So for me personally, and I'm very extroverted person, and I like networking because I'm curious about people and everything that is happening around, right? And this is the beautiful process. Allow it. And when people are telling me I'm in the introvert, I don't want to listen, right? So what do you say to your clients when they say I'm introvert, I don't want to do that, and networking is not for me? How do you make, regardless our MBTI profile, how do we make ourselves in networking, that we belong in the room, that people are curious in us as well, and that we become that most interesting person in the room?
What a big ask, right? Specifically for introverts. I always tell them to, firstly, we need to understand why, the purpose of networking, why networking is important, and what does this bring to you as a person. Firstly, it enriches you. Even if you only listen to the conversation go around you, it makes a huge difference. You broaden your horizon. You understand where are the trends, what's happening specifically now with AI and all the standby that we have in the job market. And we just talked about it before. The standby that we have in the markets. So where are the trends? How can I? And you learn something. Think about it. The purpose is to learn. It's not only about asking, I want to have a job. No, it's about to learn. and asking these curious questions and going with intention into networking. Of course, here we come again with a bit of preparation. That helps. But when you're going the first time into a room, just take a glass of water, put yourself aside, and wait and look, examine the room. Guess what? Someone will approach you because they will see that you are there standing and they will approach. Hi, how are you doing? And then you can start the conversation. You don't need necessarily approach a table where the conversation is going on already. Start small. It's a big elephant, which is a bit frightening. What do? We put it into nice little steps. So with one intention, we say, I'm going to connect with only one person today, and the rest I will observe. How are people chatting? How is the atmosphere? Oh, do I like this networking here? Do I want to come up again? And the more you do it, the more practice you get. And this big elephant in the room is going to get smaller, smaller, smaller. And you will feel after maybe 3 or 6 months more the sense of belonging in the room because everyone is looking for connections. This is why networking events are there. That's why we have networking events. Everyone is looking to connect, right? And the basic questions, and prepare 2 or 3 questions as well. Like, for example, what brought you today here? Oh, what did you take away from this guest speaker? I found it very interesting. You know, exchange the ideas. What is the other person thinking? It's all about genuine authenticity and curiosity again, but put it into small steps. Don't think that you need to go in there and connect with everyone and approach a table where the conversation is going on. Not at all. We start small, specifically for introverts. And the best thing is as well to have your, we call it the elevator pitch, how to introduce yourself. Yeah. Because you were just telling and saying, how can we be the most interesting person? What I always tell, start with something controversial. Again, for an introvert, it's difficult, but the more you practice again with your friend, with your peer about your elevator pitch, perfect. You don't need to say, I am blah, blah, blah. Normally we have name tags and everyone is looking, okay, you're Hulya. Yeah, hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, who are you? Well, looking for opportunities or something else. I'm just making this up. I always go in like, I help professionals to break free from their hamster wheel. And so like, what is that? Or if you're a lawyer, I help people normally to get out of jail. Make it a bit fun, people love this. Networking events are not serious events. You don't need to be perfect. That's another thing. Introverts think you need to be perfect with questions, you need to be prepared, and not at all. You don't need that. Imperfectionism is the perfect perfectionism. You just go there, 2, 3 questions in your pocket, and what you do is the following. Have a bit of introduction in your head and measure the room, and have only one intention, one connection at a time.
Now, what do we do? Okay, for the networking event as such, the ambience, the connections, and how you approach people, regardless introvert, extrovert, this is clear. But there is always a question of what do you do after the event and how actually you move from this card exchanging or LinkedIn profiles exchanging transaction into something which is more meaningful and where you build long-term trust. How do you shift? You exit the event and what's happening?
Well, it really depends which event we are going to. If it's a networking event which happens every month, consistency is key. Show up. People get to know your face, right? And they start to build trust in that way. If it's a one-off and you exchange the card or LinkedIn contact, after 2, 3 days, check in saying it was really wonderful that we had this great connection and this great conversation. I would like to stay even more connected and understand better what you're doing, for example. You can ask these questions, or you can say, I would like to have a coffee with you. So take it to the next step for the ones who feel comfortable with that. Moreover, on LinkedIn, how you can build trust because you're connected over LinkedIn. Always follow what they're saying, what are they posting. If there is a post from them, make a comment. That creates trust as well, that you're genuinely interested in that person and what they comment on. What else can you do? You know, we've got in on LinkedIn as well this catch up thing, the catch up button. You click on that, and there is job anniversaries, birthdays, and any job changes. Follow, see who has got job anniversaries, congratulate them. I always have something for many more years with success. That creates again genuine interest, and everyone's like, "Oh, one moment, who's Hilya? Just let me check. Oh, thank you so much. That's really great." From there, you can pick up the conversation again to say, "It's been a long time, since the conference. Maybe what about a coffee? Yeah, could be Zoom coffee as well. Zoom people like it's easy. Oh yeah, let's chat. Let's have a connection. This is how you can nurture and cultivate the connection rather than having only the card to the next level where you're building trust, because the more you have interactions with people, with humans, the more the trust will be built. Yeah, so that's very important. And to culture that means what? It's work. Yeah, it's energy, it's effort, it's follow up, but it is worth it, because following up with intention, it's very, very crucial. You can even share one article, maybe that you wrote, or that you heard, or maybe a book recommendation. Or, oh, hi, James, I just saw this article and I thought you might be interested in that. Oops, you share, and James would say, oh, okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. You know, these are little things where you are creating your ecosystem with shared value and not only self interest. And this is what people are actually really, really valuing. It's precious for them. It's not only about your career, it's about your support system. Maybe someone was asking during that networking, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a PA, a virtual PA. And let's make that a scenario. And you've got someone in mind. I know someone, maybe that would be beneficial. If this gets into fruition or not, it's not matter. You give something and you take something. And that's something where you really need to invest time, energy, and a bit of thought of how you approach your nurturing ecosystem online, but also in person.
This is very interesting what you are saying. A lot of insights, and thank you for that. You see, there are options. You can do online, you can do offline, but I think persistence and the dedication to this process is the key. And when we talk about trust, and we talk about Switzerland particularly now, right? This is one of the cultural codes. You need to build these long-term relations if you are building your support ecosystem. If you want to land somewhere and people are open to talk to you, they're curious and they want to learn something from you, but this is on you, on what is the process you build for this long-term trust-based relations. Hulya, thank you so much for the insights today and for this live talk. Guys, Hulya is one of our precious, insightful, and inspiring trainer in Bevel ON capacity building program, which we run 3 times a year now, 3 months intense program where we talk about personal capacity, we talk about the career strategy and entrepreneurship and upskilling. And for the networking as such, we arrange a lot of events online and offline. When you follow the page, you can see, you can participate. The registration is open. The mission is to provide the much of upskilling and the opportunities for you. If you are looking for the new job, if you're establishing your business, if you're transferring into new industry, or again, entrepreneurship, all that tools help. And Hulya is here for you. Please contact her. Please contact me. Follow Bevel On page. And we hope to see you in one of our programs or events. Hulya, thank you so much for being here on this live with me and for your advices, insights. And I know that this comes from your practice, because when you say that you are not comfortable on networking, I'm sorry, I don't believe that, because I've been networking with you, I've seen you, and you feel yourself as the fish in fresh water, and this is fascinating to observe how you build long-term connections with others. And I congratulate you with this very advanced skill you have.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ina. That was in the past, right? But now, of course, it's different. That's what I'm saying. You can be introvert, but you learn it. And another little tip, build your network ecosystem now, not when you need it. When you need it, then you have your support ecosystem ready for you.
And when you mentioned about the redundancies, I was made redundant also 6 years ago from the big corporate where I used to work, right? And then actually I knew that it's coming because we're never sure about what the future holds. I knew it's coming, and several months before that, and it came several months before that, I started actively building my new network, expanding, looking into different areas. And I didn't have the direct agenda to find a new job because at that point of time, I didn't know actually what I'm going to do. There was all fresh and uncertain for me, but I definitely knew that I'm curious to know more people because actually I will be most probably leaving the organization where 90% of my network will stay in that building that I'm living, right? So I
Yeah.
had my authentic curiosity about other people, what the ecosystem in Geneva, in Switzerland looks like, and you never know where the next door is open for you or the new friend you are going to obtain, right?
Absolutely, Ina. And you are also an expert in that. So we both, coming made redundant, created our own companies and corporates to have an impact on people, on humans. That's what we love. I mean, to have that humans flourish, that humans take that bold step, that next step, whatever that step might be. And it doesn't need to be a big step, little steps, because this is how you build up yourself. And this is what we love to do with Ina and on Bevel On.
Thank you, Hulya.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.